and welcome to another exciting episode of the Soni Show. You must have heard that proverb a lot of times that action speaks louder than words. My today's guest is a perfect example of that. She has worked very closely with the indigenous community here in Australia. She has worked so much in community service that she has received the Medal of the Order of Australia Award. Not just that, she has also been inducted in WA Women's Hall of Fame and she has received many national and international awards under her name. I am welcoming CEO of Southern Aboriginal Corporation with a human touch, Asha Bhat. Hi Asha.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you so much for coming to the Soni Show.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure, and it's such a great coincidence that today the NEDOC week started and we are just here.
Yeah, and it's 50 years of NIDOC week, so it's a milestone.
Yeah,
so we
it's
are
golden,
here
yeah. And for just meeting Asha and getting this special podcast done, I got this t-shirt online.
Amazing.
And it's to celebrate, of course, to honor the 50 years completion of NEDOC, and it's golden year. Yeah, it's amazing, right?
It is, hey.
So we all know Asha on the professional front, but I want to know Asha more personally. So would you like to tell our viewers a little bit about your background, from where you're from, India, and how did coming to Australia happen to you?
Firstly, I want to say Nala Kadich Wajak Noongar Mod, Kayan Kadak Ni Jabuja. I want to acknowledge Wajak Noongar people and pay my respect to elders past, present and emerging. Yeah. And plus, I come from Menang country, so I want to acknowledge Menang people as well. I was born and raised in Karnataka in India, born in Bangalore, and then, in various towns in Karnataka. Yeah. And we migrated in 2004 with my husband, my son and myself, came and landed in Sydney initially.
Yeah.
And then from there, we moved to Adelaide and was there for 4 years.
Yeah.
In 2008, we moved to Albany.
Okay.
It's a close-knit family. Albany is a small town with about 30 to 35,000 people, and I call it as home. And I started with Southern Aboriginal Corporation in 2008, and I haven't gone and I haven't seen back.
Yeah.
And I have stuck with them.
Yeah. So that's an amazing thing. But, when I was talking to you last time, and I've seen a lot of your interviews in the past, you have been speaking about there was injustice when you were in India that you faced in your personal life. So can you explain a little bit what kind of injustice you faced during your growing up years that led to the transformation in you, what you are today?
I found parallels between Aboriginal community as well as marginalized Indian community in terms of health education. And also growing up, I saw, there was access to education and other activities, for female was quite lesser compared to men. So I thought, that was always, in my mind. And from there, back in India, it has instilled in me that, I have to work for social justice. And coming to Australia, working for Southern Aboriginal Corporation, I found that common ground. And, again, the fire was going inside and then, it helped me to grow within the organization. Yeah.
You did some kind of community service back home, back in India, or no?
I worked as a high school maths teacher.
Okay.
But I was always kind and compassionate and always looked for marginalized people. How do we support them?
Right.
And I've seen, even with marginalized people, they had capacity to realize the full potential. And so my values were always about, supporting them and seeing them prospering.
Yeah. Okay. So it's quite different field, when it comes to people coming and finding a job. So is it that you got a job and then that inspired you to work towards the community service or getting connected to the community or to the indigenous community? What was it like?
So to me, as I said, from childhood, I was always compassionate about marginalized community. I joined Southern Aboriginal Corporation in 2008.
Yeah.
I worked in finance, but working there, I got insight into Aboriginal community, their history, and their entrenched life and their disparities. So that gave me more interest to work more And as I worked more, I learned and I grew, and I was always passionate about learning to elders and listening to them about their life. And it gave me a lot of enthusiasm to grow in that field.
Grow in that spirit. So this is NEDOC Week, and the theme this year is very exciting: strength, vision, and legacy. Do you think we have already achieved it, or all these years you have put so much of hard work in the community? Have you felt that you have been able to bridge the gap between indigenous community and the local community or the national community in general?
Yeah, definitely. So it is about the next generation. So we've seen, elders guiding the next generation and passing the baton on to the next generation.
Yeah.
And I see that in their culture, 60,000-year-old culture, continuous surviving culture. And I can see young Aboriginal youth coming up and, taking that baton and carrying with them the legacy that the elders have left behind.
Yeah.
So they seek the elders' guidance and looking for their own vision. And also they have to work in two worlds, the Aboriginal world and the Western world. So they are finding that common ground. And I see that the voices are getting really louder, and it is really good.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So it's a very positive message for the coming generations.
And as we've seen in Victoria, they are embedding Indigenous voice into the parliament. And I hope all other states follow their lead.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm looking forward to.
When you hear about the stories about indigenous communities and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders, you always come to that term, that stolen generation story.
Yes. Yeah.
Would you like to share that with our viewers?
Yeah, definitely. So Southern Aboriginal Corporation has two missions, Carol Up Mission and Wandering Missions, where the kids were taken early. Sometime, 6-month-old or 3-year-old, they were taken into the mission. So the whole idea was to make sure that, the Aboriginal population was wiped out or so. So when they were taken, they didn't know if they had parents and siblings. And sometimes, in the missions itself, there were brothers and sisters together, but they were not allowed to see each other.
They were separated.
They were separated.
Oh
so all the boys and girls were separated. And after 18 years, when they were released into the community, they had lost their identity. They had lost their family pretty much. Even though they had their family, there was no connection. Just can you imagine our kids taken away from us for 16, 17 years?
Yeah.
The trauma that mother and father goes through, the whole family goes through, the child goes through. Learning in Western system, completely forgetting about Aboriginal culture, their roots, their family values. That is so difficult. And the trauma when they come out is immense. And the same trauma, they pass it on to the next generation. So it continues on. It's a vicious cycle. So we also see currently that more than 50% of Aboriginal kids are taken into care. So that means, we are having another stolen generation. So what I want...
It's still happening?
It is still happening. So what I want is, more investment in intervention and prevention and supporting that Aboriginal community, because, we need to look at family-centric values, not men and women and children as separate.
Yeah.
So how do we bring them together? Because the child need mom and dad together. That's where they feel the security. So that's what my goal is, to see that more intervention, prevention activities are happening in the Aboriginal community.
Oh, so you're working towards getting them back into their families. So what exactly is the process like? Like, are you finding any difficulties during this?
So we run the Family Violence Prevention Legal Service Program and provide better access to justice system for Aboriginal victims of violence.
Yeah.
Predominantly, our clients are Aboriginal women and children. So when there is violence in the family, that means, the child protection come into the picture and, they take children away. So our job as we have lawyers is to make sure that, they get the children back. So we work in child protection and care and protection matters. So we want to get the children back. So we work really hard. We have counselors, we got lawyers, we work with the child protection system to make sure that, the children are united back. So that's the work that we do, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's very difficult because you have to work within a systemic discrimination.
Yeah.
And changing the narratives with the government, it is not that easy, but we are working really hard. We are voicing concerns, we are fighting for justice, we are making sure that Aboriginal children are in with the families.
So, are the people approaching you, or you go and approach people like you need our help and we are there to support as an organization?
We always do advocate for Aboriginal people, and we reach out to Aboriginal community in different ways, because it's not easy working with the Aboriginal community and reaching to them, because when there is domestic violence, there is always fear for women that the children will taken into care, and many times it goes unreported. So our job here is going and doing community legal education programs and letting the women know that what constitute family domestic violence, how are we going to support them. And it is very hard for women to come out of the relation, because it could be due to financial difficulties or due to children being taken. So it's a hard work. You have to build rapport with that women, helping them with the economic opportunities, helping them to stand on their own feet, and then making sure that hey, look, this relation is not good for you.
Do you help them getting a job or something?
Yeah, we do have employment programs,
Okay.
and we also work with various organizations who supports that employment opportunities.
Okay, to
Yeah.
get them out of that thing.
Yeah, but it is hard, it's not easy.
Yeah.
As we have seen, it's not just in Aboriginal community, in every community it
Yeah.
is hard. And there is also a stigma and stereotypic assumptions that Aboriginal men are perpetrators. And that's not true. Lot of Aboriginal women are married into non-Aboriginal men. So
Okay.
just because Aboriginal women are disproportionately affected by family and domestic violence doesn't mean that all Aboriginal men are perpetrators.
Yeah.
There are a lot of non-Aboriginal men who are into relationship with Aboriginal women, and we see that every day of the week.
I've also noticed one thing when when you're walking around the shopping centers or anywhere, people are very intimidated when they're around, or to approach them or to say something. Why is that thing? Like, why people get so intimidated when why they think twice for approaching them?
I think it's a lack of awareness, not knowing them. And there is we see a lot of crimes, and then people feel that a lot of Aboriginal people are into justice system.
Yeah.
So people get scared, people get intimidated, but not knowing them internally properly. So we have to embrace learning opportunity. We have to sit with the Aboriginal people to learn and grow, and we are not doing that enough. Especially migrant community, when they come here, I want to do something where where we can bring some elders and support migrant community in learning about their history, learning about their disposition of land, the trauma that they went through. And then that's when you build that trust, and you feel like going and talking with them. And that's not happening. And there is a lot of scaremongers saying that don't approach Aboriginal people, they are like this, they are like that. But
Just assumptions.
the assumptions,
Yeah, but they are pretty good.
they are
they're
very,
just
very
like
good.
us.
Yeah, they are like us. Yeah.
So if you have to tell me a difference, like what is the difference between Aboriginal Torres Strait Islanders and a normal regular Australian? What's the difference?
The difference is the family bond is very close knit. They are not a nuclear family.
Aboriginal people?
Aboriginal people,
Okay.
like they are not a nuclear family. They are like our Indians. We got aunties, uncles,
Yeah.
and our sisters' kids, our nieces, nephews. They're like our kids.
Okay.
They're exactly the same. It's not like a nuclear family. They are very affectionate people. They like to sit and yarn like us, having that food around and all, and work in informal ways. Whereas if you see white Australians, like if you have a presentation, they have PowerPoint going, they have got the strict rules. Everything has to be formal, turning up on time. Aboriginal people turn up on time, but but there has to be some allowances. Sometimes they might be running late because of issues in the community. It could be loss and grief, or there is some emergencies. The other thing I get to hear, Aboriginal people don't volunteer, but people don't understand they do volunteer in the community. They get called by aunties, uncles. So it's not 8 to 5 sort of job.
Yeah.
They also do an after hours job as well, like they get called by somebody and they go. It may not be formally volunteering sort of thing, but informally they are doing the volunteering.
That's good.
But whereas like non-Aboriginal people, they go, they just say that I am volunteering, I'm not getting paid. But Aboriginal people do every day of the week.
But they don't mention.
They don't mention.
And that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good aspect, and that's a good point.
I get asked all the time, why don't they volunteer on the board and all those things? There are things that we need to remember. When they give their time, we have to respect their time and pay for reward for the cultural knowledge that they share.
Yes.
Aboriginal people are over-consulted community, and they have got this consultation fatigue. We can't keep consulting with them. The government organization, the not-for-profit, everybody want to consult with them.
Yeah.
And they have that consultation fatigue. It can't go without rewarding them.
Yeah.
And therefore, when the universities or the government bodies come to us, say that, can you get some group of elders for some consultation, the first thing I've negotiated with them, you have to pay for their cultural knowledge. They don't come free. If a non-Aboriginal people go as a consultant, they don't go as free. And why should we not pay Aboriginal people?
Yeah.
So these are the things, I have brought it in the system. And therefore, people know now when they ring us, I say, hey, have you got dollars for the Aboriginal people? Otherwise, don't come. Don't consult with them. They are not coming here for nothing. Yeah.
Nothing for free.
Nothing comes free. They come with a lot of wisdom.
Yeah.
And you have to honor that wisdom and the cultural knowledge that they provide.
Yeah.
Because the universities will go back and make papers.
Yes.
And, bring programs. So we need to make sure that we honor that. Not only that, when they consult, one thing I ask, what's the outcome? Where is the report going to? Are we getting any synopsis back? If they're not getting anything back, please don't come here, because they want to know where it is going, what's the outcome. All this consultation going, but we look at the closing the gap report.
Yeah.
We're not achieving anything.
Right.
Yeah, it's also because a lot of money is going into non-Aboriginal organization. I say Aboriginal community controlled organizations are well placed to receive that funding, because there would be a lot of Aboriginal people, and there is Aboriginal governance where Aboriginal people have connection to the community. You need that. That Aboriginal governance is very important. Okay. You can't just run with having a steering committee. You need that 100% owned and operated body to be able to provide that programs and services to Aboriginal people.
So where do you get the financial support from? Does the government support?
Yeah, we do get support from federal and state government.
Okay.
We also have housing program. We manage about 70 houses. 64 of them we own. The rest of them we manage for Department of Communities Housing. We provide affordable housing to Aboriginal people in the Great Southern, Southwest and Lower Wheat Belt area. But that is a standalone program.
Okay.
So we don't get any government grants. We collect the rent and maintain the houses. The difference between ours and social housing is that we understand about Aboriginal community. If there is a loss in the community, if they don't pay rent for a week, we do understand that. We consult with the community and we work with them. And that doesn't happen in private renting or social housing. They get reminders, they get breaches. And that doesn't happen. We take all those into account. We know that there would be, if there is a death in the community, we would know that. We would honor that. Currently, we are going through the registration, national registration to become a community housing organization. So that is a rigorous process. Once we have that, we get validation. And we are looking into tapping into funding.
They have to pay the rent?
They have to pay the rent. Yeah.
But the rent should be a little lesser than what we usually pay?
Yeah, as a community housing, the maximum they pay is 25% of their total income.
Okay.
Yeah. So they do pay rent. It is exactly like social housing, Department of Community Housing, exactly like that. But what we incorporate is a cultural appropriateness in that.
You have also worked very closely for suicide prevention
Yeah.
and youth programs. Can you tell us one single cause that you have come across a lot of times for them committing or taking this big step of suicide?
There is lots happening in the community. There has been lot of losses and self-harm in the Aboriginal community. And government has taken action to implement programs in all regions in WA.
Yeah.
But it is a very complex issue. Like one organization can't solve that.
Yeah.
As I said in the past, there is a lot of trauma in the community. And also, like when it comes to parenting, sometimes there is no role models. A lot of Aboriginal people are incarcerated, and when we look at elders, they are looking after the grandkids too, because their mom and dad are in the justice system. Okay. So at the time when elders have to retire and enjoy their life,
Yeah.
they are looking after their grandkids.
Yeah.
Even though they look after them really well, it's not like parenting. Yeah, it is. There is a lot of generational gap, sort of thing.
Of course.
So
Thought process also.
Yeah. So it is very, very difficult. So we also see a lot of racism and discrimination even in the schools. A lot of young people are dropping out of school, and in smaller community they haven't got employment opportunities. That means they have got nothing to do, and they get involved in some sort of trouble and getting into justice system. And once you go into justice system, it is very hard. When they come out, the employment opportunities are limited. So again they get into boredom. That means again they get into some trouble, and they go back into justice system. So it is just a revolving door sort of thing. And sometimes, when there is boredom and there is nothing to do, these sort of things happen, like self-harm. Yeah. And drug and alcohol is playing a major part as well.
Alcohol?
Yeah, drug and alcohol, both of them. Okay. And especially like in Aboriginal community, it is disproportionately affecting. And Great Southern region, we don't have a residential rehab for AOD use. I have advocated heavily and made sure that the state government has committed to establishing alcohol and drug rehab in the Great Southern region. And we are waiting for a tender opportunity to apply for that. And I would assume that when the participants come out of the prison, and if they had the issues with AOD, I hope they would access that and then get some sort of healing and coming back into the community.
One more thing I wanted to ask is truth, healing, justice is always their demand, or their kind of they always emphasis when it comes to their community. Do you think they have been able to achieve it, or there's still more to go?
Well, we didn't get voice embedded into Australian Parliament. We've gone through the referendum. But Victoria is the first state which has come out and want to embed voice into the Parliament. So the truth-telling should happen. People need to know what is the history. And what we hear sometime, okay, that was long back, you move on. Yeah. And that's not the right way to go. We need to acknowledge the history and work alongside Aboriginal people. We should be an ally and help. How can we help them? So they should be at the center, driving, but we should be alongside of them, supporting them. Yeah. So it hasn't happened. There isn't justice to Aboriginal people. There needs to be a truth-telling and treaty. And they are working really hard on that, and I hope one day they get it.
Yeah, I hope so. But I always wondered that, they are always treated specially, and why, when you are an Australian and you put authority when you say that, your traditional landowners and your First Nation people, then why you have to keep yourself in a different category? Why can't you just say, I'm an Australian citizen?
Yeah. We need to understand they are the first Australian and they are the minority too. They are very precious. If you look at their life expectation is very short compared to non-Aboriginal people. And if we don't preserve them, if we don't support them, there won't be an Aboriginal community. And that's a shame to Australian that we don't have First Nation people. First Nation people carry a lot of wisdom. They need to care for country. So we need to empower them. We need to support them. That is why they need to be treated as special. They don't say that they need to be treated as special, but they say treat us equal. They should be, because they are such a short population. it's not just about equality, there should be equity. So the equity is about, everyone have got the same access is not the equity. You need to elevate them to get that equity. And that's why we are all working hard to support them. That shouldn't be taken as a special privilege, but it should be taken as something that we are supporting the First Nation people who have got wisdom, who have been living here 60,000 years. And we need to support and we need to understand their strength, legacy that they have for over 60,000 years.
The government recently, on the Sorry Day, they granted $85,000. So is that enough, or the expectation of the community was a little bit more for the redress?
Yeah, I think there is only one state, Queensland, hasn't got that redress for stolen generation.
Yeah.
Rest of the state had. WA has come out. So credit to WA government for doing that.
Yeah.
Yes, we say 85,000 is enough. It's not enough, but it is some sort of compensation.
That will help a little bit to the families?
Yeah, definitely help. But a lot of people have passed away too. Oh. So those people who had their stolen generation family members who have passed away, they don't get the benefit, but only the surviving members would get the benefit. Sometimes, it's not about the quantity, it's about the gesture.
Yeah.
If the government is honoring and acknowledging the trauma of the past, the wrongdoings, that's something, it's like a generous gesture. So that's what, they like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You work so closely with them, like in Albany.
Yeah.
But I think the major population of Aboriginal people in the Swan area, in the Kimberley region, and near the Broome. So you never thought of moving towards the Perth city side?
I really like rural settings.
Okay.
But Perth also, I know a lot of Aboriginal leaders.
Yeah.
I do visit Perth often, like once in a month here. I go to the different meetings and all. I'm trying to set up in a Perth office as well. We already have 5 staff here.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking about, there is some inclination of moving to Perth.
Yeah.
But I like rural setting as such because there is a close-knit community and a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
That's what I love about, because you go anywhere, you know people. You go to a coffee shop, they know your order already.
Okay.
Yeah, and you go to a dress shop, they know what sort of dresses you want. So you know everybody. You go to market, you spend a lot of time. So that sense of belonging, sense of community that I love very much. Yeah.
So you like the, the small town effect, where everybody knows each other very much.
Yeah, so anywhere in Albany you can go in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it takes like an hour to go.
Yeah.
Where, we can do a lot of work, I believe. A lot of people said, why don't you move to city? Mm-hmm. Yes, living in a rural area, there is challenges and disadvantages.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of people said, there is no visibility, but I'm the woman who is showing you can have visibility wherever you are.
Yeah.
You can use various channels and medias. You can collaborate with different organizations. You can show up. Mm-hmm. And you can be there everywhere. So that's not hindering my growth at all. Yeah.
Who is your role model? I would like to know.
Yeah, it's my father.
Father?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was a vice chancellor of university, but he never chased power or praise. He did the right thing with purpose and humility. Mm-hmm. And that's something, those values I carry with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
You are also coming as a co-author in one of the books, which is going to be published in September this year.
Yeah.
You excited about that?
I'm very excited. Even though it is a small chapter in a book, but I'm looking forward to that because.
What's the name of the book?
Dreams and Determination.
Dreams and Determination.
Yeah.
So Asha Bhat is coming up with one of the books, and she is the co-author, and it will be releasing in September month. It's quite exciting, isn't it?
It is very exciting, and
what it is exactly about?
It's about my life from childhood, what I saw, all the disparity, disadvantage. I never wrote about my professional life as such. It's all about my personal life.
Personal life?
Yeah.
You have brothers, sisters?
Yeah, I've got one brother who is in Seattle, one sister is in Sydney, and one is back in India. And I'm youngest of all, so I'm the baby of the family. Yeah.
So did you feel that thing in the family, like, the girls and the boys are not getting that equal treatment, or was it just in your society?
I mean, it's just in society. My father, always all about, education. He thought that he believed in the greatest gift you can give to anyone is access to education. He was all about education and, make sure that, we were all well educated. I come from an academic family. My brother and my sisters, everyone is doing really well. So there was a sense of responsibility, sense of role modeling that is passed on to our kids as well. Without even telling anything, they had that responsibility to do well.
You being the youngest, till you are so wise. Because usually the youngest ones are the most spoiled ones.
Yeah, I am spoiled.
Yeah, you're spoiled. Okay.
Yeah, but I had a lot of responsibility looking at all my elder sister and brother. Then I had to do well. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. You have support from your family. That makes you good. So who is here in Perth with you, like your family here?
I got my son. He actually went to school in Albany, and then he came to university to do his degree at UWA in Perth. He finished MD. He's working in Fiona Stanley as a doctor.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I'm really proud of his, career and everything. More than anything, he's a really nice person.
So he is always there with you? Oh, so he's in Fiona Stanley. So that means he's in Perth.
He's in Perth.
Oh, so he's away from you.
Yeah. I'm actually on my own.
God.
My husband is working in Geraldton.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
Quite
it's not
hard.
It is very hard, but we are making it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spend quality time when we come to Perth. Sometimes my husband comes over here, so we spend that quality time. I keep myself so busy in several boards and get into any activities, volunteering, so I don't get to think at all. So when I go to bed, I'm just sleeping. Get up, I've got something else. Yeah.
So when you're not working, what is your hobby like?
I watch sports.
You like sports?
Yes.
Oh.
Passionate fan of sports, and I watch AFL too.
Okay.
Port Adelaide from South Australia is my AFL team.
Okay.
Next month I'm going to Adelaide to watch one of their games. And even cricket. Cricket from very childhood. When I was 5-year-old, I used to listen to the commentary. Even the Ashes, Australia and England Ashes used to start at 5 o'clock, and we used to listen to the commentary. From then, the whole house, we are all very passionate about sport. Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Cricket.
Yeah.
So who's your favorite cricketer?
I mean, Virat Kohli.
Virat Kohli.
Yeah. But in every team, I have got favorite people.
Yeah.
Like Smith in Australia. Every team, I have got somebody. Joe Root in England. Currently, there is a Test cricket happening between England and India. Today is the final day. It is going to be really interesting. I hope India wins.
Yeah. So you've done so much of, when I was reading your portfolio, you've been in the nomination categories, in the finalist segment, in most of the business Women of the Year.
Yeah.
So how do you mix business with community service?
Okay, this is very important because people think that, you are working in not-for-profit, you don't have to have a business acumen. You need the business when you are working in not-for-profit. You're getting all the grants, it has to be acquitted.
Yeah.
And I've got financial and contractual obligation to the funding body. If you don't have business acumen, then you will go drowned. So making sure that we have got that financial sustainability, making sure you do the right investment.
Yeah.
When I took the leadership of the organization, it was in crisis and it needed renewed direction. The first thing I looked at was the financials and made sure that we did the investment where we got the high returns. Through that, we were able to buy a prime land next to the Albany Entertainment Center on the foreshore for $1 million to build a cultural center. It took 3 or 4 years to get a grant. Finally, we got the federal grant now, $5.2 million, to do the first stage of Kali Cultural and Language Center. So business and finance brain is needed in the not-for-profit sector as well. Yeah. So this is about, any numbers that we use or any dollars that we use, I want to see how it is utilized. Every cent that we use, what outcome we are getting. So $1 invested in Aboriginal Indigenous affairs give $5 in social return. Yeah. So that economics, that finance and business acumen is really needed in the community services. And if you don't diversify your portfolio, you're not going to be sustainable. And therefore, we've done the expansion into different regions. That's how we are sustainable, because all these fundings are short-termed. You don't know what happens. The successive government comes, they might abolish that. So you got to be very careful what you want. You work with the community, ask them, what is the gap in the service delivery? How can we get that program and services to support them?
Yeah. So it's good to do good things for society needs money, of course, to do something good for them. So it's great. Yeah. So it's fabulous. So what message you would like to give to the women who want to get involved like you in community service field, and especially the things to keep in mind when they are doing some kind of, work towards Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, what all they should keep in mind?
Embrace opportunity. Embrace learning, listen and grow. Don't shy away from challenges. And your cultural identity is your strength. And be very authentic. You don't have to mimic anyone. Be authentic in yourself. And, walk alongside of Aboriginal community. Know about their history. Have that curiosity to learn. Lean into that and grow.
And just love them, because this community needs lots of love and appreciation and acknowledgement that we all have been doing for many, many years now. And it should keep going on, right?
Well, it takes time to build that trust. It's not an overnight journey. They are very good in understanding it. If it is a genuine relationship, they suss you out. So build that relationship with the elders. As much as love that you give, you get the same back. So it is a very rewarding experience.
That's good. So your message on NAIDOC Week 2025, what is that for the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander community?
Well, younger generation have to learn what elders have done, the hard work and resilience that they have shown, and carry that to the next generation.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much for taking your time out, Asha ji. It was pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, same. Thanks for this opportunity. And it's really good to know another person. Like, I've never met you before, Soni ji, so it is really good to know you. And build that network.
It's my pleasure to meet you.